I'm Leslie Davis, and you're on the scene with me and Newsnet. We're going to take you around the Valley, check out what's happening in the arts and entertainment for the Central Valley. We're at Maximus Media, opened in 1985, where all the magic happens. National, local, and regional recording artists have graced their presence right here at this studio. We're going to take you on the scene to learn more about the incredible art in the Central Valley. It's been a very busy season in the Valley's art scene, and as always, Art Hop is the most visual arts event in the Valley. More and more galleries are showing more arts, and so many people have discovered new art galleries, and some of them have never been there before, maybe for the very first time. This is amazing stuff, and if you haven't been to an Art Hop, you should definitely go. It happens twice a month in Fresno, the first Thursday and the third Thursday of each month. And guess what? It's all free. For a list of galleries and locations, you can find all the stories and links on IntoNewsNet.com. Now, let me tell you, Rogue Festival just ended. This has been going on for 18 years in the Tower District, and the Rogue Festival is kind of a unique fringe art showcase. All the artists get to do whatever is interest to them. If it's live performance, maybe it's a play, a one-man show. The cool thing about the Rogue Festival is all the money collected at every single venue goes directly back to the artist. In addition to Rogue Festival that just wrapped, Fresno Art Museum just wrapped up their fantastic fundraiser called Trashique 2018. It all took place in an airport hangar. It was absolutely freezing inside that hangar, but the show was hot, smoking hot. Everything was made out of trash. If you want to learn more about this and get involved with maybe next year's Trashique, you can go to the Fresno Art Museum's website for all the incredible pictures. Plus, we've got some great file footage to show you.
Pobre campeón, debo enseñarte la esperanza.
We're sitting down with Omar and his lovely wife, Jasmine, just wrapping up a show over at Bitwise. It's called Nuevo Mariachi, which means new mariachi. Check out the scene from Bitwise.
Los ángeles me miran, Los ángeles me miran.
Omar, Jasmine, thank you for coming and sitting down with us to share your story about your new project that I was so happy to attend at Bitwise in February. So where'd you come up with this inspiration to do like a new mariachi?
I started singing mariachi when I was 12 years old. There was a lady in our church that asked if I would come sing at her wedding. She'd heard me before at recitals from piano lessons. And I told her no. And she goes, I'll give you $50. And she said, and I said, yes. I said, yes, and what do you want me to wear? She says, can you come sing mariachi songs and dress in a charro? So my parents got me a charro, and that was my very first paid gig. My uncle taught me some songs on guitar, like Sabor a Mi, classic mariachi songs. And that was the start of my mariachi career. After that, my mom became a manager, and I toured from California to Nevada, Arizona, pretty much the whole West Coast. When I was 15, I made an album, and that caught the eye of a producer named Christian DeWalden, sent me to Italy, And I was in Italy for about a month and a half working with two brothers that were songwriters called the Mastro Francesco brothers. And we produced a demo that got shopped to Sony. And then we got scared. My parents got scared. I was 17 now at that time. And they wanted me to finish school. And that's what I did. I didn't take the record deal from Sony. There was a friend of mine from Mexico City. His name is Noé. Noé's the kind of guy that knows what's going on, especially in Mexico City. Knows all the top artists, what's cool. You want to know something, you go ask Noé. And I asked him, what's going on in the world of mariachi? And he fell out of his chair laughing. He laughed at me. A carcajadas, we would say in Spanish, which means just, you know, a belly laugh. And after that, he said in Spanish, Omar, para la juventud en México, el mariachi está muerto. Omar, for the youth in Mexico, mariachi is dead. And that hit me in my gut. Why would this beautiful music be dead? And I just started thinking about it. Asking myself questions. I convinced myself that he was wrong, but also right. And I saw some problems that I thought made me go away from mariachi. And that was the seed of why I wanted to return to singing mariachi.
You're half Mexican and half Arabic.
It's really important for me to tell the truth about who I am. And like I told you a second ago, I grew up singing mariachi, but I am half Arabic. Like I tell everybody, I make killer hummus. And so I remember having a conversation with my grandmother. She passed away this year. And I remember having a conversation at her house. I'd been hanging around with a bunch of hippies up in the mountains, and they love Kulthum and all these classical Arabic singers. So I started listening to Kulthum. And so I went over to my grandma. I was at her house and I said, Teta, how do you say grandma in Arabic? Teta, I listen to Kulthum. And she looked at me and she went, and I that shocked me. After a while, she came back to me and she said, in very thick, with a very thick accent, Omar, Kulthum for mind, Abdel Halim Hafez for heart. And so I ended up looking for this artist named Abdel Halim Hafez, and I fell in love with his music. He was an Arabic pop artist in the 40s and 50s. And I fell in love with his music. So did Jazz. There was one song in particular that I loved called Awak, which means I love you. And when my grandma passed, I translated that song to Spanish in memory of her, and I sang that at the concert.
Por la noche todavía medito, uno nunca olvida la verdad, pero cuando me despierto soy un mono y quiero tener todo a todo dar. Pobre campeón, debo enseñarte la esperanza, pero no sé, creo la mentira. Preparados, los ángeles me miran.
So the two of you have been married for how long now?
9 years this year.
9 years.
9
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Thank
if
you.
if you count the friendship though, like friendship, dating, and marriage, we've been together 13, 14
Or
years.
something like that,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's wonderful. And Jasmine, you're a dancer. You're a beautiful dancer.
Thank you. Thank you, yes. I'm a dancer and choreographer in contemporary with a background of flamenco.
Beautiful. And so the two of you collaborate together on this project. Have you done other projects together?
Oh, yeah, tons. I mean, it's so funny because I guess you can say we've always kind of done projects together, because even before we even knew of each other, we were sharing the same stage.
Wow.
So I would perform, he would perform around, Fresno and around the valley and everything. And then once we got to know each other, we started producing little small productions, for friends and family and things like that, making our connections. And then eventually it became something serious. Once we got married, it was like, okay, you know what? I think this is our business.
No vas a creer a comer. No conocía el lugar, se llamaba Flamencos.
So I grew up with a very lively family, artistic family in that sense, and it grew in me, and eventually, I wanted to become a dancer, and I remember the exact age. I was 8 years old when I decided, Mom, I'm going to be a dancer.
So how is it living together and working together?
No, it's how we figured out how to balance it. When we first got married, we opened up a dance studio, and we were very focused on Jasmine's show. She was the first in Fresno after 50 or 60 years to do a show at the top of the Grand in the penthouse on the 10th floor. I love that venue. Me too. And she was the first to do a modern dance show there in however long. And so we were very focused on Jasmine's project. And then we turned our attention to Nuevo Mariachi. And now Nuevo Mariachi is built. We think of it like one of our wines. And we bottled it, and now we're selling it, and we're now in the development phase for one of Jasmine's projects. So that's how we balance it. We kind of
Good.
Go back and forth.
Right, and you have your whole life to continue this.
Right.
So what would you, the two of you, say to a young person, maybe wants to be a dancer or a singer, an artist? What kind of advice would you give to them? I know it's like follow your dreams, follow your passion, but is there anything specific that you can, sometimes people follow their passion and they feel that they're not getting anywhere, and they can be really disappointed in the fact that they're not growing.
Right.
What is the trick?
There's two things that I would say. First of all, I think that you need to push your technique as high as you possibly can while never eclipsing feeling. Feeling is still more important than technique, always, because you have to communicate. Art is communication, you have to communicate. So that's one bit of advice artistically I'd give. The second bit of advice that I would give is it's never gonna be perfect, so ship it anyways. Just send it out anyways, and make your mistakes in public. I spent a long time myself not following that advice, and waiting till it was perfect, and I missed a lot of good opportunities to do that. So doing that. So I would really say ship your work. It's not perfect now, but that's what you can do. I mean, don't ship it when it's, still in its draft phase, but ship it when you've done your best work, and let it go. And yeah, that's what I would say.
Fue con un dolor que te
We always strive for perfection, but we're never going to be there.
No.
In reality.
No, never.
Right. But if you feel really good about it, you've given it your best shot.
Right.
Go for it.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to ship it. And since we learned that lesson, that's when things started moving for us. It's like you have to send it out. Don't worry about it. Learn what you're gonna learn. Make your mistakes in public. It's okay.
Okay. All right.
That's what I would say.
Because you'll be forgiven.
You'll be forgiven. No one remembers 3 years ago. They remember what you're doing now, and they remember how you made them feel.
Right.
And so,
we are our own worst critics. I mean, the artists themselves are their own worst critics, and there needs to be less of that. Ship it out, like he said. Message is what's the most important. Me, for instance, as an artist, I will not put anything out that does not have some kind of message that I have to give out to my audience. Otherwise, what am I doing it for? Am I just wailing around on stage?
You want them to take something home with them.
Yes, exactly.
To remember you by.
I mean, a simple word, we really feel, as part of our take on art, it's communication. The best art always says something to somebody. That's the other bit of advice that I would say, that don't think about talking to everybody. You have to focus on one audience, and that's who you go after. That's what I would say too. I made that mistake where you're just trying to please everybody, and then you're really pleasing no one. You have to find an edge and go forward with it.
And definitely do something that resonates with you, because if it resonates with
that's
you,
true.
it's going to resonate with a group of people out there.
Somebody will feel it.
Somebody will feel it.
Yeah, don't ever feel you're too, inferior, or let anybody else make you feel inferior. Take that message. If you have a deep feeling about that message, let it out. Share it. Share it with somebody, with a group of people, because they're going to take to you as well. If you believe it, they'll believe it.
Tanta vida yo te di, que por fuerza tienes ya sabor a mí.
Lit Hop is a literary counterpart to Art Hop. It happens in a one-day poetry festival at venues throughout the Tower District. That's scheduled for April 21st from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. The headliner this year is Rhonda Guerrera. She'll be joining literally dozens of other poets and authors who will read their works. And guess what? It's all absolutely free. No bucks. The Lively Arts Foundation is bringing a hot taiko drum group from Japan, nominated for 4 Tonys. That's coming up in May. Check that out. It'll be well worth your time. Some great festivals on the way. Grizzly Fest featuring Snoop Dogg will be at Woodward Park along with Foster the People. This is a 2-day event. Tickets are on sale now if you're interested. Checking that out. Coming up in May. Country music legend Willie Nelson is headed to the Save Mart Center in August along with his friend Alison Krauss. Tickets are on sale now. Elton John circles back around for his farewell tour at the Save Mart Center along with Metallica, Pink, Shania Twain, Luis Miguel. They're all scheduled to play there. The Tower Theater, if you're into jazz, you might enjoy Brian Culbertson. When he first came to the Valley, he played a show, believe it or not, at Pardini's. Now he's a multi-Grammy winner. An Evening with Travis Tritt. This is going to be a solo acoustic performance. You're into country music, that'll be a good one too. Also, don't forget Fulton 55. They feature a lot of top talent, including local musicians from all over the Valley. They've got a really cool show coming up with Dave Allen and Jimmy Dale Gilmore together on stage for one night. That is Thursday, May 24th. The Saroyan Theater, named after William Saroyan, is home to the Broadway in Fresno series. Now they're bringing back the Book of Mormons. It's a great Broadway show. I saw it. You need to see it. If you haven't seen it, you will not be disappointed. And also on the bill at the Saroyan Theater is a little soul, funk, and R&B. You can check out the Drifters, Coronado Gutters, Coasters, and the Platters. They're all coming in August. Also, don't forget about all the live entertainment, music, art, and all the pop-ups all around the Valley, from Merced to Bakersfield and beyond. You've got the historic Bakersfield Fox Theater. You've got the Hanford Fox Theater. They do a lot of incredible shows. And Merced's happening over there at the Gallo Theater. So many incredible artists and a really cool little town of Visalia on Main Street. Visalia Fox Theater, you can catch a show and dinner at one of the fabulous restaurants right there on Main Street. So there you go. More information can be found at into.newsnet.com. We'll see you next time on The Scene with me, Leslie Davis. I'd like to thank our sponsor, Maximus Media, for supporting the arts since 1985. Be sure to stay tuned to Newsnet and On The Scene with Leslie Davis. Thanks for tuning in.